At this time, Xianxia's relationship with the natural law world was getting closer and closer. He didn't know what was going on, but if it was before, he wouldn't be able to make such a huge change to the natural law world. Is it because I'm getting stronger and stronger? So can I now have basic control over the natural law world? Xiang thought so. Right now, he could directly sense the space of the natural law world, and could even release his own strength to strengthen it. He once again confirmed the location of the natural law world and was very satisfied. This will do for now. After I get rid of those few heaven-old divine race people, I'll use the world-defying mad source BDS in their bodies to increase the space. If it were not for him using that world-defying mad source bead, the space of natural law world would not have been strengthened so quickly. As long as the space of the natural law world was not as easily torn apart as before, it would be difficult for people from other worlds to reach the natural law world, and only he could freely enter or leave it. Could it be that they've killed a lot of them and reduced the number of people here? Xiang guessed and very quickly discovered that there were a few auras. They are fighting. Xiang had already seen 3 heaven-old divine race people fighting against a Tiangu beast. What made him curious was that the Tiangu beast was very small. The Tiangu beast he had seen before were all as large as a mountain, but right now, they were fighting with the people of the heaven-old divine races who were only slightly taller than normal. Compared to the other Tiangu beast, they were very small. What surprised Xiang was that this Tiangu beast was extremely powerful, to the point that it actually required 3 heaven-old divine races to attack it together. Furthermore, they were unable to attack it for a long time, making it difficult to deal with. This thing is very strong. Go and ask Chen Kai. When Xiang arrived at Chen Kai's secret room, he found that Chen Kai was in the midst of extracting myriad Tao divine soilless from the Tiangu beast's fur. Other than needing some time, he didn't need to consume anything else. The space has already been strengthened by me. It won't be so easy for those fellows to come back to natural law world in the future. Xiang said, "How are you doing? Did you manage to get many myriad Tao divine soilless?" "It's not much, it's pitifully little." Chen Kai shook his head. "Of course, this is not as much as I had expected. A Tiangu beast is able to produce 2.5 taels of myriad Tao divine soil. Indeed, it is rather rare." Xiang laughed. "But at least it's better than nothing." "But it's true. There are a lot of Tiangu beast anyway, so you should be able to catch some of them." Chen Kai laughed. "Are you prepared to go out?" "Yes, I saw 3 heaven-old divine race people surrounding and attacking a Tiangu beast. It's just that this Tiangu beast looked very strange. It looked like a gorilla." Xiang told Chen Kai about the size of the Tiangu beast. "Oh my god. This must be a beast king." It said that the beast king of Tiangu beast can evolve into a human. Chen Kai said, "Right now you should be considered a beast king. Doesn't that mean that there are more myriad Tao divine soil on this heaven-old super beast king?" Xiang's eyes lit up. "That's not it, maybe not at all." Chen Kai shook his head. "I don't dare to be sure either. All right, I'll go out now and see if I can find a chance to ambush those 3 bastards." After Xiang found out about the situation with the Tiangu beast, he immediately headed towards the natural law world. These guys are all using the strength of their flesh. They didn't use the world-defying stage fierce power? Xiang was watching the battle between the heaven-old divine race people and the Tiangu beast from afar. He also noticed that the Tiangu beast's fur was gray, without any thorns. However, the heaven-old super beast king's fur was extremely tough. Xiang saw that even though one of the heaven-old divine race people used his weapon to hack at it, he could not leave any scars. This guy is really scary, but my heavenly magic sword should be able to easily break through his defense, right? Xiang frowned. Even so, this thing is not easy to deal with. I wonder if I can beat it. Seeing that the 3 heaven-old divine races were struggling so much, Xiang secretly calculated in his heart. If this goes on, we will lose. Have you informed the boss? One of the heaven-old divine race people asked anxiously. If he doesn't come soon, we have to leave quickly. We've already notified him, but there seems to be a problem with our communication device. The space here has suddenly increased, but we don't know why it's like this. Another heaven-old divine race said. The space here had indeed just been strengthened by Xianxia, and originally they couldn't use the communication device anymore unless they forged it from a new perspective. Then let's hurry up and go. The voice of one of the heaven-old divine race people was filled with worry. No, this is a Tiangu beast that is close to the existence of a beast king. We cannot let it go. If we can tame it, he can bring us into the heaven-old super realm, and there will be a large number of them, and even more myriad Tao divine soil. You should know why the beast hair on these Tiangu beasts can be refined into myriad Tao divine soil, right? The main reason is that there are a large number of myriad Tao divine soil at their place, and they often roll on top of the myriad Tao divine soil, which accumulated over time. This heaven-old super beast king definitely knows how to go to heaven-old super realm. This is a very strange time-space world. The heaven-old divine race said, "We must stall for time and wait for boss to come." The big boss they were talking about was the strongest, but for some reason he hadn't come yet. Does this heaven-old super beast king have that kind of ability? Xianxia was shocked. If he could quickly obtain a large number of myriad Tao divine soils, he wouldn't need to refine them himself. At this time, his heart was thumping wildly. There were a lot of myriad Tao divine soils, and that number was very little above myriad Tao. Is it really possible that there are a large number of myriad Tao divine soils? Xianxia was still suspicious of this. Roar! Heaven-old super beast king suddenly roared out. His fist finally struck one of the heaven-old divine race's man's chest and sent him flying. The heaven-old divine race man's heart was severely injured, and he could not help but scream in pain. Third brother, you useless thing, you actually got hit by this beast. One of the heaven-old divine race people was very angry, because he was also flustered. Heaven-old super beast king only needed to deal with 2 people from heaven-old divine race. The pressure on him lessened. The heaven-old super beast king is really powerful. To think that it would be so easy to deal with 3 people from the heaven-old divine race. Xianxia was secretly shocked. He was worried that this beast king would be taken away. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit. After the third brother had been injured, the other 2 had become extremely angry. This was because it had already implicated them, so when something like this happened to them, they would become the most furious. Xianxia could see the anger on their faces, as if they wanted to kill OL3 right now. These guys are really ruthless. Are all heaven-old divine race people like this? Xianxia thought back to what happened to Chen Kai. Originally, Chen Kai had been hunted down and killed by the people of heaven-old divine race, and the main reason was that he possessed the bloodline of the heaven-old orcs. It's time to make a move. Xianxia quietly went over to Old Third's side. All 3 was quickly healing himself, and he even took out a bottle of pills. He poured out 2 of them. What pill is this? It looks pretty good. Xianxia smelled the fragrance of the elegant pill and couldn't help but to become spirited. The quality of the pill was very high, its refining methods were also very different, he could tell at a glance. Mine! Xianxia laughed. He had already rushed to the back of the third brother, and the heavenly magic sword instantly pierced through the third brother's back and stabbed into his heart. Dead! Xianxia immediately threw Old Third's body into the Tianchuang furnace. He had already gotten the bottle of pills. At this moment, the Tianchuang furnace was trembling non-stop, because there was a world-defying mad source bead inside recklessly making its way forward. Xianxia immediately ordered Feng Kuer to release the sealing power to suppress it. Have they found out? Xianxia immediately hid himself. The reason he had been so easy to get his hands on was mainly because the third brother was already heavily injured and they weren't very defensive. This place was already a very intense battlefield, and he felt that no one would come here, so he was so relaxed. OL3 is gone, a heaven-old divine race man suddenly shouted. When Xianxia heard it, he had already teleported. Has OL3 run away? They didn't know that their third brother had been killed by Xianxia. They could not split their attention either. It would be very difficult for the 2 of them to deal with heaven-old super beast king. But now that OL3 suddenly ran away, it made them feel even more pressured, and they had already decided to give up. Let's go! Just as that person finished shouting, Xianxia had already quickly flew over, stabbed him in the chest, and then threw him into the Tianchuang furnace. Fourth bro. The remaining one should be number 2. Seeing his comrade pierced, he immediately understood that number 3 must have also been killed in this way. After the second brother let out a scream, Heaven Old Super Beast King's palm had already struck over, striking his head, causing it to explode. In the moment of shock, the second brother had accidentally let his guard down and was attacked by Heaven Old Super Beast King. Xianxia immediately chased after him. He teleported extremely quickly. Arriving in front of the second brother, he slashed at the chest, and after the heart was destroyed, he anxiously threw the corpse into the Tianquang furnace. I finally settled it. It was surprisingly easy. Xianxia did not expect himself to be able to kill 3 heaven-old divine race people in such a short time. The main reason was because they were standing and fighting with the heaven-old Super Beast King S, and did not expect Xianxia to be here. Even more so, they did not expect Xianxia's strength to be so strong that they could hide and not be discovered. Xianxia told Feng Kuer to seal the 3 world-defying mad source bead inside, so they wouldn't collide with each other inside. Otherwise his Tianquang furnace would be destroyed. This guy seems to be able to sense me. Xianxia was still invisible, but Heaven Old Super Beast King was looking at him. He's very strong. You'd better forget about it. Feng Kuer warned them. Let's go and find the one that is still in Heaven Old Divine Race. That guy is the boss. He's the strongest one there. Focus on dealing with him. Xianxia really wanted to fight with the Heaven Old Super Beast King, but he did not have the confidence. Earlier, the 3 Heaven Old Divine Race people did their best to not take him down, so he definitely could not as well. Goodbye. Just as Xianxia teleported away, he was only able to enter the spatial tunnel, but he was caught by a force, which shocked him greatly. What's going on? After Xianxia was pulled out, he fell hard onto the ground, and saw the gorilla like Heaven Old Super Beast King. What's going on? After Feng Kuer asked this, he also saw the situation outside. Human, why are you helping me? Heaven Old Super Beast King actually spoke. His voice was very hoarse, but everyone could hear him clearly. They were my enemies in the first place, and I just took this opportunity to kill them. Xianxia said honestly, I didn't provoke you. Let me go. Where are you going? Heaven Old Super Beast King asked. You have the ability to travel through space? Can you bring me out of this space? Before, this place was still very weak. At that time, I could still leave this place myself, but now I can't. Where are you going? Xianxia asked. I just need to leave this place. I don't have any direction to stay here, so I can't find the place I need to go. Heaven Old Super Beast King's eyes were filled with confusion. Oh? Where are you going? Xianxia suddenly became curious. I heard from them that you are from the Heaven Old Super Realm, right? Yes, that's not a good place. You want to go? Heaven Old Super Beast King asked. I don't want to go. I have another enemy here. I'm going to destroy him. Xianxia shook his head. He never thought that the Heaven Old Super Beast King would actually have such a human nature, and did not have any enmity towards him. If I leave, can you help me? The Heaven Old Super Beast King said again. All right. Xianxia thought about it, and finally decided to take this Heaven Old Super Beast King away and help him. After Xianxia accepted him into the 6 realms mirrors, he came to Divine Wasteland. After he released the Heaven Old Super Beast King, the Heaven Old Super Beast King was very excited. He said that this was the place he was going to and was very grateful to Xianxia. I will definitely repay you in the future. Goodbye. After Heaven Old Super Beast King finished speaking, he quickly ran away and disappeared. Xianxia shook his head. He then returned to the natural law world. There were still many Tiangu beasts here, but he did not need to worry about them. If the many experts joined hands, they could still force them to retreat. It's just that the Heaven Old Divine Race was not easy to deal with, not to mention he was the strongest one among the 5. This guy is still hunting Tiangu beast. Xianxia closed his eyes and quickly locked onto the location of the Heaven Old Divine Race. After finding it, he immediately teleported over. But just as he went over, the Heaven Old Divine Race person disappeared. Let's go. Xianxia felt a trace of qi remaining, and was shocked. The other party seemed to suddenly come over and immediately ran away. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone, synchronous read please visit Xianxia immediately closed his eyes and searched the natural law world for him. But he was unable to find him even after searching for a while. Where did you go? Xianxia frowned. He cannot leave this place. The space here has already been strengthened by me, so he cannot open it. He continued to search within the natural law world, but he could not sense the aura of this person from there. He could only search on one side, while killing the Tiangu beast that were participating in the search on the other. A few days later, he suddenly sensed a trace of qi, but immediately disappeared. This allowed him to be sure that the heaven-old divine race was still inside, and that he had hidden himself. Does this guy already know that his other 3 companions are dead? Xianxia guessed that this was the only way he would hide. He feels that it's impossible to leave this place. Furthermore, he has a powerful enemy here, so he will definitely be very careful. Feng Kur said, "If it was me, I would be the same." The other party was extremely vigilant, and it would be very difficult for Xianxia to find him. In the next 10 days or so, he killed Tiangu beastes everywhere, and the few hundred Tiangu beastes were easily taken care of by him. Although the world-defying mad source beat he produced was relatively small, it was enough for him to use the powerful world-defying stage fierce power, but it could not be maintained for a long period of time. After he returned to the Dan God mysterious land, he gave a portion of the Tiangu beast in his hands to Chun Kai. He planned to hand over the majority of the remaining treasures to Lu Menger and the others. Xianxia, you should already know about the matters of the myriad Tao divine soil. Xianxia came to a courtyard and saw that Xianxia was reading a book. The book was filled with spirit grain S, and all of these were given to them by Chun Kai. Previously, Xianxia had told Chun Kai that if he was free, he would teach him a bit of the spirit grain or something like that to Xianxia and the others. Elder Chun told us in detail that you had a little bit of it before, but we didn't know much about it back then. Xianxia nodded his head and laughed. Your heavenly magic sword has been newly refined by Elder Chun, right? Yes. Xianxia took out the heavenly magic sword and gave it to Xianxia, reminding him, be careful. It's very sharp. And when Xianxia took them and looked at them, Lu Menger and Dongfang Xinyue just happened to come out. They both looked naked at the moment and wore extremely thin clothes. This is the heavenly magic sword refined by the myriad Tao divine soil. Lu Menger watched very seriously, and also did not notice Xianxia's mischievous gaze sweeping over them. If you need myriad Tao divine soil, I have one here. Xianxia immediately gave them a huge storage box and said, there is the corpse of the Tiangu beast inside. He told them about the Tiangu beast hair, letting them know that the beast hair could be extracted from the myriad Tao divine soil. Chun Kai, this guy can't refine it himself, so I'll give you some. Xianxia chuckled, then pinched Lu Menger's butt, causing Lu Menger to roll her eyes at him. If we can really refine a myriad Tao divine soil, according to Elder Chen's words, the refined myriad Tao divine soil would be more than enough for us to use. As long as we add a little more, we can make our weapon extremely sharp and sturdy. Xianxia said. But you guys have to leave some for me. I want to strengthen the 6 realms mirrors and the Tianchuang furnace. It's not enough now. Xianxia said, and then pinched Dongfang Xinyue's charming face. No problem, if you have time in the future, you can come here to obtain the myriad Tao divine soil. If you want to increase the strength of the 6 realms mirrors, I'm afraid that we cannot, and need Elder Chun to refine it. Lu Menger said. Chun Kai was indeed very experienced up there. All right, I'll stay here for a few days. It's been a long time since I've been with you. Xianxia laughed. Scoundrel. Xianxia scolded her while laughing. In the following 2 days, Xianxia played with Xianxia and the others all day. It had been a long time since he was this relaxed. Boom! A dull sound accompanied by a shaking sound was heard. Xianxia, who had just woken up, suddenly ran out. The commotion was huge, and all the people in Dan God mysterious land were alarmed. It's a spatial ripple. When Xia Bailing came over, he anxiously said, there is a strong wave of spatial energy attacking this place. We want to break in. Yue also flew over, saying, This is a power from natural law world. Xianxia immediately closed his eyes and searched the natural law world for signs of life. Very quickly, he saw a man dressed in luxurious robes. He was wearing a mask and was from Heaven Old Divine Race. It's someone from the Heaven Old Divine Race. This guy seems to have already discovered the existence of the Dan God mysterious land. Xianxia said, "Don't worry, I'll go out and meet this guy." Xianxia immediately teleported outside and appeared behind the Heaven Old Divine Race. Sure enough, you're inside. The Heaven Old Divine Race individual stopped his attack and sneered. Who are you to be hiding in this small world? For this world's spatial barrier to be strengthened so much in such a short period of time, it must be your doing. And you are the one who killed my 4 companions, right? The ones who are reckless are the 2 of you. This natural law world is a world that I control. You guys are free to do whatever you want here, so it is normal for you to be punished by me. Xianxia said in a cold voice, "You will naturally not be an exception. Today is your time. The one in charge of this world? We, the people of Heaven Old Divine Race, are the managers of the entire Myriad Tau, and we will soon be able to dominate the entire Myriad Tau. At that time, as long as we are in the Myriad Tau, they will all be ours. You truly are an ignorant fool." The Heaven Old Divine Race laughed. "Then let's wait for your mighty Myriad Tau to speak. Right now, you are a group of wild boars." After Xianxia finished speaking, he waved his hand and released the black whip. The black whip flew out like light and wrapped around the Heaven Old Divine Race. It was refined using the Myriad Tau divine soil? This Heaven Old Divine Race was extremely shocked. His body suddenly flashed, transforming into a ray of white light that exploded. Countless clumps of light fused and reformed in one place, once again transforming back to the Heaven Old Divine Race. "I don't need to pursue the matter of you killing my comrades, but you have to return the world-defying mad source bead to me. There are a total of 4 of them. If you don't give them to me, then no one will be so polite with you." The Heaven Old Divine Race thought that Xianxia was not easy to deal with, so he discussed the terms with Xianxia. The world-defying mad source bead was actually so important to the people of Heaven Old Divine Race, which was something that Xianxia did not expect. "I won't give you even a single stone." Xianxia had to get rid of these guys who were wreaking havoc in the natural law world. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read. Please visit. Seeing Xianxia's determined attitude, the Heaven Old Divine Race knew that Xianxia would not negotiate with him. It seems this is the only way. The Heaven Old Divine Race person's expression changed and then suddenly disappeared. He actually used spatial teleportation, which was something Xianxia did not expect. This guy actually knows how to teleport. Xianxia was startled and immediately went to check on the location of the natural law world. He quickly sensed a trace of aura and had already determined the location of the man from the Heaven Old Divine Race. Xianxia teleported over and quickly caught up to him. He did not know what this Heaven Old Divine Race wanted to do. After arriving here, Xianxia felt that something was amiss. By the time he realized it, it was already too late. "I was careless." Xianxia looked down and realized that there was a very large array disk below. He had actually entered into an array disk that was already set up a while ago. The moment he stepped onto this array disk, the array disk would activate and trap him inside. "This little trick won't hold me back." Xianxia immediately used the White Tiger Leap and easily jumped out of the Great Formation. However, after he jumped out of the formation, he entered another formation. "Not good. This is a consecutive maze formation," Feng Kuo said in shock. "This kind of formation is intertwined together with multiple formations. It can only be a few or hundreds and will be like a maze. If you jump out of this formation, you will end up in another one, and the formation will move into a few more formations, causing you to be lost." Xianxia frowned and closed his eyes to look at the natural law world. Even though he could see the natural law world, it did not help him at all. "Where's that guy? Is he planning to ambush me here?" Xianxia was extremely cautious. If the other party were to suddenly attack, with the Heaven Old Divine Race's powerful strength, he would be in danger. He wouldn't sneak attack you in here, because he wouldn't dare to enter this kind of chain link maze himself. Feng Kuo said, At this moment she also felt that the situation was extremely serious. She could not afford to deal with this kind of array. She needed to break it one by one, not run out from it. Then let me see if I can find that guy. Xianxia searched for traces of the heaven-old divine race disciple in the natural law world. He quickly found him and found that he was actually attacking the space. What does he want? Could it be that he wants to enter the Dan God mysterious land? Xianxia shouted in shock. If he is allowed to enter the Dan God mysterious land, the consequences will be unimaginable. Not only was this heaven-old divine race powerful, he was also very cunning. He felt that his chance of victory against Xianxia was not high, so he thought of other methods and had to escape from this natural law world, because he was the only one here and Xianxia was in charge. It would be very easy to find his position. Don't worry, Chen Kai is still inside. Feng Kuo said, right now, what we need to do is to break this formation. Xianxia took out the 6 realms mirrors. He had originally planned to use the 6 realms time and space door to lock onto one of his acquaintances and then teleport over. However, he did not succeed. What's going on? I seem to have gone into another array. Xianxia said. Yes, you are still in the consecutive maze formation. You must break it as soon as possible. Feng Kuo said in a serious voice. This consecutive maze arrays might be the type that possesses intelligence. He can control multiple spatial ceiling formations to move back and forth, and after you charge out of this array, you will fall into another one. I know. It's like I just came out of this trap, but Giant is going to fall into another trap. Xianxia nodded. More or less, but the most powerful part about the consecutive maze arrays is that they can be used repeatedly, so you have to completely destroy them. In the end, he won't be able to use them again and again. Feng Kuo said. All right, let's begin now. Xianxia took out the heavenly magic sword. The heavenly magic sword was extremely sharp, and these array formations were formed by them. It was very easy to destroy them. This kind of ease was only for Xianxia because an array disk was originally very strong, so a very strong array disk was very hard to break. However, Xianxia's heavenly magic swords were refined using the myriad Tao divine soil. It was very powerful. Xianxia picked up the heavenly magic sword and fiercely hacked down onto the ground a few times, leaving many holes. Xianxia felt the space suddenly shake, and he successfully destroyed a maze. All right, Feng Kuo said. These array formations should have been prepared by the other party to trap the strong Tiangu beast, but if you want to use it to trap you, that would be difficult. Xianxia continuously used his heavenly magic sword to slash at the ground, because there were array discs below. After a long while he exhaled. There are really too many of these array discs. Yes, there are at least 100 of them. In order to get rid of you, this guy has spent a lot of resources. It seems he's a little afraid of you. Feng Kuo laughed. I'll be leaving very soon. When that happens, it'll be his funeral. Xianxia snorted and continued destroying the array. For Xianxia, destroying the array was very easy, but for the others who were trapped inside, it would be hard to escape. In just one day, Xianxia had successfully destroyed the entire chain of maze. This fellow is about to succeed. Xianxia closed his eyes and saw that the heaven-old divine race disciple had already made the dimensional wall of the Dan God mysterious land very thin and was about to break it. I won't let you succeed. Xianxia immediately teleported over. The people of heaven-old divine race did not expect Xianxia to be able to break through his powerful chain formation, as he understood the chain formation very well. He believed that Xianxia would definitely be trapped inside, and if he successfully entered the Dan God mysterious land, he might even be able to grab a few people from the array to threaten Xianxia. Xianxia released the 6 realms mirrors. The moment it appeared, it released an array to trap the heaven-old divine race disciple. This is actually a chain maze. Impossible, you cannot grasp the consecutive magic array. This array has been completed by our array masters for hundreds of thousands of years. It won't be so easily controlled by a single human. The heaven-old divine race started shouting inside. He wanted to try to break this array, but he did not succeed. Xianxia's 6 realms mirrors could replicate array formations. Previously, all of the array formations had been copied by the Six Realms mirrors, so when this heaven-old divine race person entered, he felt that it was a chain formation. This is finally over. I must let this guy have a taste of my pain. He actually dares to mess around in my territory. Xianxia took out a large piece of powder, and knew that these were all Wuxias. The bodies and strength of the people of heaven-old divine race were very strong. He did not know whether or not Wuxia of this level would be effective. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone, synchronous read please visit after Xianxia placed the large amount of Wuxia into the Six Realms mirrors formation. The Wuxia immediately floated away. Because the space inside was sealed, this kind of poisonous scent was extremely dense. What is this? So fragrant. After the people of heaven-old divine race smelled it, they immediately became energetic. Then, they unknowingly inhaled deeply, and after taking a few breaths, they could no longer stop. I wonder if it's effective. Xianxia looked at the heaven-old divine race man who was constantly sucking on the poison, and already showed signs of preliminary poisoning. He just did not know whether or not this poison would be suppressed in the future. In order to make the other party even more poisoned, Xianxia could only continue refining the Wuxia. He also used the time domain which could allow him to refine even faster. A few days later, he threw a large number of Wuxia in, and saw that the heaven-old divine race was lying on the ground, as though he was drunk. This should be enough to poison him. Xianxia knew very well how powerful Wuxia were. If they were unable to cure the poison, even the people of heaven-old divine race would become obedient. The He clan had poisoned them with this poison before, but the He clan's poison didn't give them such a comfortable feeling, and the He clan's poison was also refined by these heaven-old divine races people. Wake up! Xianxia had already sealed the heaven-old divine race into a space inside the Six Realms mirrors. Little bastard, what did you do to me? After the people of heaven-old divine race woke up, who knew how much time had passed. He only remembered that he smelled a very fragrant and beautiful scent, and then fell asleep without him knowing. It's nothing. I'm just letting you enjoy it. Xianxia chuckled. You'll know soon enough. Xianxia laughed sinisterly. He had used this method to deal with the heaven-old divine race to control him. After half a day, the heaven-old divine race people inside the Six Realms mirrors started to roll around in pain. Right now, he only had one thought, and that was to desperately suck the poisonous scent. As he wished, Xianxia placed a bit of Wuxia in, alleviating the pain of the heaven-old divine race. The heaven-old divine race person had already taken off his mask. It was an old man. He looked to be in a very sorry state, looking haggard. Old fellow, you must have suffered. Xianxia laughed. You little bastard. He suddenly felt that this method was very familiar, and remembered that they had used some poison to control others. Previously, the other great world-defying stage clan S had taken some poison from them to control some people. It was just that Xianxia's poison was even stronger, and when it flared up, it was so deadly that it made him want to die. I learned this from all of you. Xianxia laughed. If you don't want to try that pain again, you better cooperate with me, or else, I won't let you die like this. I will make you suffer until your lifespan runs out. Heaven-old divine race was so angry that he wanted to scold her, but he did not dare scold her again. The bone-piercing pain he had felt just now had not subsided, and now he even had the thought of smelling the Wuxia. Originally, he had been very restrained to not let himself think like that again. What's your name? Xianxia asked. Sure, Songkong. Xianxia laughed, because he had already achieved the desired result, and this heaven-old divine race was cooperating very well with him. How did you guys open up a path for the Tiangu beast to enter? Xianxia asked again. We will use a spatial formation released by an array disk to connect with the heaven-old super realm and let the Tiangu beast inside come out. Sure, Songkong said. He had already made his decision. He did not want to be tortured like this. The array disk should be in your hands, right? Xianxia asked again. Sure, Songkong placed the array disk on his palm. Xianxia took it out and laughed. That's good. Don't worry. I will let you live a comfortable life here in the future. Sure, Song Kong didn't say anything more, but he felt extremely disgusted in his heart. He didn't think that he would meet such an end. Xianxia allowed Feng Kuo to study the array disk, and then closed his eyes to see the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. After finding it, he immediately teleported over. The top of Myriad Tao Divine Mountain was bustling with noise and excitement. There were a lot of people gathered there. When Xianxia arrived, he saw a person speaking loudly on a flat platform at the top of the mountain. Right now, everyone only needs to find the people from the Heavenly Dragon City, and they'll receive a generous reward. The old man said, "The fellows from Heavenly Dragon City are already hiding, so everyone should be careful. After meeting them, don't expose your intention to capture them, but first get familiar with them, and then find an opportunity to make a move." Xianxia suddenly asked loudly, "How many rewards are there?" The old man was interrupted while he was talking. He was angry in his heart, but he still replied, "Xianxia, 1 billion Dao crystal. Very few. The people from the Heavenly Dragon City are very strong. If I were to clash with them, it would be a narrow escape from death." Xianxia said again. No one here could recognize him. Everyone felt that what he said was reasonable. 1 billion Dao crystal was not a small number of people, but if they were to go all out to exchange for them, it would be very rare. If you feel that you shouldn't go too far, then someone else will naturally go. The old man glared at Xianxia. There are so many people in Heavenly Dragon City. As long as you capture one, you will be able to obtain 1 billion Dao crystal. Myriad Tao Divine Mountain is also like that. They don't have much ability. Xianxia laughed. You can't even deal with a single Heavenly Dragon City, yet you still want to use such a small number of Dao crystal to fight to the death. How naive. You must be here to cause trouble. The old man instantly appeared in front of Xianxia. Do I look like a troublemaker? Xianxia laughed. I just don't want everyone to die because of a few Dao crystal. I think you're here to cause trouble. The elder roared in anger, and the angry look on his face caused everyone around him to retreat. Speaking up for everyone can be considered as causing trouble? It can be seen how much you wish for the people here to die. Then you can shift the blame to the Heavenly Dragon City, causing everyone to hate him even more. Originally, we did not have any enmity with him, but with you doing this, we can make him our enemy. Xianxia shook his head. And you, the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain, popped out from who knows where. If you want to mess with our natural law world, you are a troublemaker yourself. What are you? You actually dare to spout nonsense here. It is not your place to speak natural law world. The old man roared. He raised his hand and slapped towards Xianxia's head. After the palm struck Xianxia's head, the power he released actually disappeared like a stone falling into the ocean. He did not shatter Xianxia's head, but instead, his power disappeared in an instant. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone, synchronous read please visit. Xianxia looked at the old man's astonished face and smiled slightly. Then, his palm shot out like lightning and struck the old man's chest. You? Who are you? The old man was shocked. He was a cultivator of the world-defying stage's sacred body, but he was actually injured severely by the other party in such a short period of time. You are not worthy of knowing who I am. Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. From today onwards, you will forever disappear from natural law world. When Xianxia said this, his expression became serious. The huge Myriad Tao Divine Mountain started to shake, and everyone on the mountain started to fly away. Xianxia immediately locked onto some of the people from the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain, and then released a large number of mouse-man-s to kill all the small fries. Weary? In just a short while, only Xianxia and the old man remained at the top of Myriad Tao Divine Mountain, which was originally bustling with noise and excitement. You are Xianxia. This elder looked at Xianxia with a face filled with shock. He felt that this kind of person was the only person who had such a huge grudge against Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. Don't worry, your Myriad Tao Divine Mountain belongs to the world-defying stage clan. I will quickly eradicate him. Even the people who are my enemies will not have a good ending. After Xianxia finished speaking, he pushed forward with his palm, and a powerful force surged out, bringing with it a wave of world-defying god fire that howled out. The old man's body was turned into pieces and was burnt to ashes by the world-defying god fire. The myriad Tao divine mountain had already been destroyed by Xianxia. After that, he went to find the world-defying stage heavenly sect, and with just a few moves he managed to destroy them. Now, he felt that the natural law world was in his control. If it was before, it would be impossible for him to destroy these two powers that easily. Xianxia returned to the Dan God mysterious land, told LV Chilean and the others about the situation outside, and assured them that he could cultivate here. Currently, the people of Heaven Old Divine Race and the World-Defying Stage Clan were both in the Divine Wasteland. The World-Defying Stage Clan and the people of Heaven Old Divine Race had teamed up. Heaven Old Orcs didn't know why they were acting so low-key at this time, nor did he know what they were doing. In short, Xianxia felt that they were extremely dangerous. Even the current Xianxia was extremely wary of the Heaven Old Orc Emperor. He did not have the confidence to defeat the Beastman Sovereign. I wonder how strong the strongest member of the Heaven Old Divine Race is. Xianxia had never asked Chen Kai before. Even if he had, he did not know. But he could ask one person, and that would be Shi Songkong. Shi Songkong had become very obedient now, answering almost every question he asked. Old fellow, in your Heaven Old Divine Race, who is the strongest? Xianxia asked. I don't know who's the strongest because there are a few who are very strong, and their strengths are all stronger than Heaven Old Orc Emperor. Shi Songkong said, your current strength is not bad, but it is not enough for you to go deal with them. It's not enough to deal with them with my current strength, but it's still possible to give them a headache. Xianxia laughed. You should know where all the world-defying stage clans live, right? These guys are currently in a separate dimension. Before, they were separated, but after they pledged their allegiance to us, they were unified by us. This makes it easier for us to manage them. Shi Songkong said, what are you going there for? I just feel that you shouldn't have put the Tiangu beast in the natural law world, but in their world-defying stage clan. Xianxia had already gotten his hands on the array disk and could open a spatial tunnel from the Heaven Old Super Realm, allowing the Tiangu beast inside to come out. After Shi Songkong heard these words, he did not know what to say. Quick, take me there. Initially, Xianxia had thought of letting Shi Songkong lead him in, but he was afraid that once Shi Songkong came out, he would contact the Heaven Old Divine Race and that would affect his plans. So he planned to sneak in by himself. Shi Songkong led Xianxia to a shore where there was a city. After Xianxia arrived at the city, he saw that there were a lot of people who belonged to the World-Defying Stage Clan, and more of them came from the World-Defying Stage Clan. Why did you Heaven Old Divine Race people come to this place? Xianxia asked. Such a good world only has humans. Simply a waste. We came here to make this world better. Shi Songkong said. Bullshit. Do I not know what you have done? Xianxia sneered. To make those fellows from the world-defying stage clan use poison to control them, and even want to destroy my natural law world, you all are definitely not good people. Shi Songkong did not speak anymore. Humans were originally like ants in their eyes because they, Heaven Old Divine Race, were able to use the powerful world-defying stage fierce power, so no matter how strong humans were, as long as they could not use the world-defying stage fierce power, they were no match for them. Thus, they had never put humans in their eyes. How much do you know about the Heaven Old Super Beast King? Xianxia asked. What? You met him? Asked in shock. Previously, he had received help from his other companions, saying that he had met Heaven Old Super Beast King. Yes. Xianxia was not afraid to tell Shi Songkong, because Shi Songkong was already under his control. Where did he go? Shi Songkong's voice suddenly trembled. I brought him to the Divine Wasteland. Xianxia said, what's wrong? This is troublesome. This guy is very scary. Once he evolves into a complete body, no one will be able to save him. You're asking for trouble. Shi Songkong snorted. Once Heaven Old Super Beast King gets to the Divine Wasteland, he will go search for the Myriad Tao's origin. Once he finds it, he will borrow the Myriad Tao's origin to evolve himself. Is that so? Xianxia frowned. If he had successfully evolved, how strong would he be? Such a powerful being. wouldn't he be sucked into the myriad Tao? Tiangu Beast won't be restricted by the myriad Tao, and neither will we, Shi Songkong said. Even if we have the power to surpass the limits of the myriad Tao, we will still not be sent away, because we are not born from the myriad Tao. So it's like that. Xianxia felt that the heaven-old super beast king he met before was not bad. You don't look worried at all. Tiangu Beast is much more brutal than heaven-old orcs. Shi Songkong sneered. I feel that all of you have to be even more brutal. Tiangu Beast are just a bit more stupid. At least they aren't as harmful as you guys. Xianxia laughed out loud. How about you compare yourself to the Tiangu Beast? Do you think it's more harmful to humans or more to the Tiangu Beast? It's just that the Tiangu Beast did not appear here. Shi Songkong quibbled. The fact that the Tiangu Beast will appear here is also a good thing. Xianxia couldn't help but laugh. Of course. I'll go and place the Tiangu Beast in the world-defying stage clan right now. At that time, I'll be able to carefully see how brutal the Tiangu Beast is. Pure text online read local domain name mobile phone synchronous read please visit all the world-defying stage clan S were gathered in the same space at the moment. If Xianxia could really sneak in and release the Tiangu Beast inside, it would definitely cause these world-defying stage clan S a huge amount of damage. Xianxia not only planned to release the Tiangu Beast from world-defying stage clan, he also wanted to go to the heaven-old divine race's space to release it. He only wanted to see how many Tiangu Beasts there were right now. The people of heaven-old divine race only opened the spatial tunnel for a very short time. If he opened it for a long time, then there might be even more Tiangu Beasts that appeared. When Shi Songkong found out about Xianxia's thoughts, he immediately thought that Xianxia would probably throw all these Tiangu Beasts into the heaven-old divine race. There were indeed a few very strong people in the heaven-old divine race, but if Xianxia were to suddenly release a large amount of Tiangu Beast, that would definitely cause a lot of death or injury to the people of the heaven-old divine race. You won't have a good ending if you anger our heaven-old divine race. You better let me go, and then give me the antidote. This way you can live to the end of your life. Shi Songkong said. Dream on. Xianxia was not that naive. He let it go just like that. He hated the people of heaven-old divine race very much. Did not forget that they caused a lot of deaths in the natural law world. If you did not place the Tiangu Beast in the natural law world, so many people would not have died. Xianxia said coldly. I will make all of you heaven-old divine race pay with your blood. Don't think that just because you are extremely noble you will look down on other humans. Pfft. I'll let you bastards die with the humans right now. Xianxia strolled around the city by the sea. There were many people from the world-defying stage clan here, and as long as he kept his eyes on these people, he would be able to find a way to enter the world-defying stage clan. At night, the city was no longer as lively as it was before. Xianxia released quite a few mouse man-s and stared at the people of the world-defying stage clan closely. Once they left the city, they would follow them. In the middle of the night, Xianxia finally discovered a group of people leaving the city. All of them were from the world-defying stage clan, and their strengths were quite strong. At this moment, they had left the city obviously to return to the world-defying stage clan. Xianxia immediately followed quietly and teleported all the mouse man back at the same time. All of them are young people who have just stepped into world-defying stage. After Xianxia saw through their strength, he was not worried anymore. He could use counter-power invisibility to follow behind them without worry. There were more than 20 people in this group. They were riding a flying disc, flying towards the depths of the sea. Is the entrance in the sea? Xianxia followed him, and not long after, he saw the flying discs diving into the ocean. Myriad Tao Divine Mountain is also in Divine Wasteland. After Xianxia followed him into the ocean, he quickly discovered a huge mountain that was emitting a faint white light underwater. This mountain looks very similar to the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain, but it is not the Myriad Tao Divine Mountain. Xianxia continued to follow closely, and those people were unable to discover him at all. The flying disc flew into a cave at the bottom of the ocean, and after flying in, the door automatically closed. Xianxia anxiously used teleportation to run in and turned into a small stone, landed on a man's shoulder and stuck close to it. As long as those guys from the Mu Rong family make a space, they will be able to release the Tiangu beast. At that time, we will be able to hunt the Tiangu beast and acquire the myriad Tao divine soil. When the time comes, we will have the divine tools refined by the myriad Tao divine soil. Just thinking about it makes us excited. Didn't they say that the Tiangu beast's hunting grounds are located at that natural law world? It was originally like this, but because of some problems over there, we are no longer able to contact the person inside. It seems that things are not going well. That's why the Mu Rong family built this space. These guys from the Mu Rong family do have some ability, but they are now the dogs of the He clan. What a pity. The He clan has obtained these people who can control the power of space. It's fine. Since we have already pledged our allegiance to the heaven-old divine race, we don't need to worry about being bullied by him. These young people were discussing about the Tiangu beast allowing Xianxia to know a bit about the reaction of the heaven-old divine race people. They were no longer able to contact the natural law world, so they naturally knew that something had happened inside. There were definitely people thinking of ways to investigate the situation inside, but they were unable to enter the natural law world. The group of youngsters entered a large formation, then activated it and were transported to another space. This place was actually even larger than the Dan God Mysterious Land. He reckoned that this place was at least 10 times larger than the Dan God Mysterious Land. There are some places with very few people. It would be best if the Tiangu beast were to be released there. Xianxia released many heaven-devouring rats to investigate the situation. Feng Kur said, "This space is very stable. Even if we release a large number of Tiangu beast, they will not be afraid. I just do not know if they will let this group of Tiangu beast run to the divine wasteland. Probably not. To them, Tiangu beast are resources, because Tiangu beast have myriad Tao divine soil on them. If they let these Tiangu beast go to divine wasteland, maybe they will be taken away by heaven-old orcs, and heaven-old orcs is their enemy." Xianxia said, "From what they said just now, the space built by the Mu Rong family will take some time to complete. If I were to just leave the Tiangu beast here, they would be able to start hunting. Wouldn't that be letting them off easy?" Feng Kur said, "Don't worry anyway, even if they get a large number of myriad Tao divine soil, they won't be able to pose much of a threat to me. Even if I don't release the Tiangu beast here, they will have a way to hunt for it." Xianxia said, "The people of heaven-old divine race already had a way to obtain the myriad Tao divine soil, but Xianxia was unable to stop them, so he was worried that it would be useless. Furthermore, the speed at which he obtained the myriad Tao divine soil was much faster than the people of heaven-old divine race." Xianxia arrived at a place with no one around and took out the formation plate that Xianxia had given him. After he activated the formation plate, a huge black vortex quickly appeared in the sky. Very quickly, many huge Tiangu beasts ran out from inside. The moment they came out, a black gale blew out, and as it blew out, the Tiangu beast was blown away by the wind and into different parts of the space. Xianxia had opened this door for a very long time, which was much longer than when he had opened it previously. He did not know how many Tiangu beast had opened this door for now, but he knew that there would be a lot. "Someone's coming. I'll get it somewhere else." Xianxia chuckled, then teleported to another relatively fewer people, turned on the array disk, and blew out a large gust of black wind. As Xianxia was sealed inside the 6 realms mirrors, he continuously roared loudly. He really wanted to know how many Tiangu beast Xianxia would actually release. Xianxia continuously changed locations and released wave after wave of Tiangu beast. The time he took to open the door was 1 hour, which could be considered a very long time. "Kid, what's the situation outside?" Xianxia asked. "Many Tiangu beasts are shouting." Xianxia laughed. "It's very lively here. Just how many Tiangu beasts did you release?" Xianxia was shocked and anxiously asked. "I don't know either, but I must have opened that passage for more than an hour." Xianxia said. He did not know how many Tiangu beasts had come over. Xianxia was speechless. "In this half an hour, we've released at least 10,000 of them. This world-defying stage clan can be considered destroyed. Thank you. If you hadn't given me the array disk, I wouldn't have been able to do such a beautiful thing. I planned to sneak into the Heaven Old Divine Race's territory and try to see if I could release a large amount of Tiangu Beast. Don't act recklessly. I won't tell you how to enter the ancient god domain even if I die, Xianxia shouted in anger. Don't worry, I won't let you die. Laughed out loud. The Wangwa scent would never let anyone die, but it would definitely make them suffer a fate worse than death. After he finished speaking, he no longer bothered with Xianxia. The heaven-devouring rat that Xianxia released already saw that quite a number of strong world-defying stage clan members killed their own Tiangu beast. As long as he saw any Tiangu beast that fell to the ground, he would immediately run over and collect them. In the space where the world-defying stage clan was, beast roars could be heard everywhere and battles were happening everywhere. Many people from the world-defying stage clan were killed by the strong Tiangu beast. Xianxia kept the Tiangu beast's corpse and paid attention to the situation inside the cave. Once the Heaven Old Divine Race people entered, he would be careful. So powerful! Xianxia suddenly saw a small Tiangu beast that was as tall as 3 people. It was very small compared to the other mountain-like Tiangu beast, similar to the Heaven Old Super Beast King that he had met before. This small and exquisite Heaven Old Super Beast King was extremely powerful. Many of the old undead world-defying stage clans were smashed into meat paste with a single slap of his. No one could stop him, so Xianxia did not dare to approach him. Another Heaven Old Super Beast King. He's really amazing. Xianxia never thought that he would actually be able to release a Heaven Old Super Beast King. This kind of Heaven Old Super Beast King was a rare occurrence in the Heaven Old Super Realm, but right now he had met 2 of them. There were already more than 100 corpses of the Tiangu beast that Xianxia had collected. There weren't many that had died, but there were a lot of dead world-defying stage clan cultivators, and the ground was full of broken corpses. There are so many of these Tiangu beasts, but they have actually become so frightening. When Xianxia saw the people of world-defying stage clan, he almost collapsed. Many of them were in hiding, and not many dared to accept the challenge. However, they all knew that these gigantic black beasts were Tiangu beast. Only the Heaven Old Divine Race could release the Tiangu beast, so they all thought that it was the Heaven Old Divine Race who released the Tiangu beast. At this moment, they were extremely angry, because they had already pledged their allegiance to the Heaven Old Divine Race. But why did they still have to harm them? The spatial undulations are very strong. Heaven Old Divine Race is here. Be careful. Feng Kur suddenly said. Yeah, I felt it too. Xianxia had already seen the Heaven Old Divine Race people who had suddenly appeared. They were all dressed in gold and white robes and had a mask on their face. There were dozens of them. The moment they appeared, the first person they dealt with was Heaven Old Super Beast King. These dozens of guys are all very strong. Xianxia didn't dare to get close at the moment, and could only watch from afar. If he were to head over now to collect the corpse, he would definitely be discovered. We can't let them catch this guy. Heaven Old Super Beast King was extremely important to the people of Heaven Old Divine Race. They would do anything to capture him, because this was something that was extremely beneficial to Heaven Old Divine Race. That's the only way. Xianxia took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and teleported the currently besieged Heaven Old Super Beast King out to the Divine Wasteland S. Then, he himself ran out because he had already been discovered when he was in the process of cultivating. If there were only world-defying stage clan S, he would not be afraid, but a few dozen of them were very powerful. Finally out. Xianxia ran out from the world-defying stage clan's dimension and then followed behind that Heaven Old Super Beast King as he ran frantically. Did you get me out? The Heaven Old Super Beast King said. Yes, I don't want you to be caught. Xianxia answered. He had met a talking Tiangu beast before, so he was not too surprised. Thank you. This Heaven Old Super Beast King was extremely grateful to Xianxia and said. This made Xianxia even more surprised. He never thought that these Heaven Old Super Beast King who had a hint of intelligence would actually be this polite. To say such words, it was the same for the previous Heaven Old Super Beast King. Right now, we are still being chased. I can help you run faster. Where do you need to go? Xianxia asked. He had learned from Xianxia that once these Heaven Old Super Beast King came to the Divine Wasteland, they would be able to sense where the source of Myriad Tao was and then search for it. Once they found the myriad Tao spring, they would absorb it and become very strong. It was a very scary threat to the people of the heaven-old divine race. This way, pointed in a direction. Xianxia immediately brought him and teleported away. With a few moves, they left the place they were at just now. This way they could avoid being tracked by the heaven-old divine race. Heaven-old Super Beast King was like a black gorilla. At this moment, Xianxia was sitting on this Tiangu beast's shoulder, running far away. Inside the world-defying stage clan space, a few heaven-old divine race people were floating in the air. Looking at the ruins and the roaring Tiangu beast, they never thought that such a thing would happen. Why are there so many Tiangu beast here? And why are there so many of them? Our array discs have never been opened before, and only the little team's array discs could bring so many Tiangu beast here. What exactly happened inside? Could it be that they are taking their revenge on us? That little team's treatment is not bad. Their world-defying mad source speed are all very big. They have no reason to hate us. This matter must be investigated thoroughly. The most important thing is that a Beast King has escaped. If we are unable to capture him, we will be in deep trouble. Everyone should know what will happen after Heaven-old Super Beast King finds the myriad Tao source. The reason Xianxia was following this Heaven-old Super Beast King was to see where the myriad Tao source was. Gorilla, I also let a Heaven-old Super Beast King out. The place he went might be the same as the place you went. Xianxia said, if you meet him, will you fight? There couldn't be two tigers on one mountain. Xianxia was very worried about such a thing. Don't worry. We won't have any conflicts, because we all have a common goal. Our goal is to get rid of the Heaven-old divine race. The gorilla said, Heaven-old divine race is a very evil being. Why do you say that? Aren't they humans? Xianxia said, they are indeed a little overbearing, but I do not think that they are evil. We were originally humans, but they turned us into this. The gorilla angrily retorted. Only a few people still maintain their original souls, just like me. There's actually such a thing. Xianxia was very surprised. The people of Heaven-old divine race obtained a few evil beast dead spirits from somewhere, and these dead spirits entered our bodies. After absorbing the energy within our bodies, they nurtured a very large beast body. The huge Tiangu beastess that you saw previously are all in this situation. These people are already dead. Their souls have already been devoured. The gorilla said, as for some of us, because we have enough power to fight against the souls of the evil beast, we can still preserve our memories. The birth of the Tiangu beast was actually so tortuous. Now, Xianxia understood why Xianxia was so afraid that the Heaven-old Super Beast King would find the myriad Tao's origin. This is because in our homeland, there are many myriad Tao divine soilless. After they transform us into Tiangu beast, as long as we are separated for a period of time, our bodies will be covered with a small number of myriad Tao divine soilless. At that time, they only need to release us and kill us. The gorilla was very excited at this moment. This was something that made them very angry. These fellows are too despicable. I am so sorry. I killed a lot of Tiangu beast and even extracted the myriad Tao divine soil from them. Xianxia said, it doesn't matter. After all, they are already dead. If we kill them, it might be able to release them. The gorilla said, if you want to go to myriad Tao divine soil, I can bring you there to look for it. But before that, I need to go to myriad Tao's origin. What does the source of the myriad Tao have to do with you? Why are there so many myriad Tao divine soilless in your hometown? Xianxia asked. He was also extremely happy in his heart. The Heaven-old Super Beast King was bringing him to enter Heaven-old Super Realm to search for the myriad Tao divine soil. This way he would not have to go through so much effort to refine it. The gorilla did not reply, obviously because he did not want to tell Xianxia these things. The location of the myriad Tao source was uncertain. It would move, and it would move rather frequently. Gorilla need to keep turning as they run. It's so hard to find. Xianxia had already waited for a few days, but he still had not arrived. Furthermore, the gorilla's speed was extremely fast, and sometimes it could even fly, but most of the time it was just wildly running on the ground, because he said that it was easier to sense the myriad Tao's origin on the ground. On the side of the Heaven-old divine race, They had already sent 2 people to look for the heaven-old super beast king. There are still remnants of the evil beast's soul inside the heaven-old super beast king. We can still feel the aura of his participation when we use the divine tools specially crafted by him. A heaven-old divine race person was holding onto a disc. 2 red dots of light appeared on the surface of the disc that was as smooth as a mirror. What's going on? Why are there 2 targets? A heaven-old divine race man at the side said in shock. Don't tell me there are 2 heaven-old super beast kinges. They should be searching for the myriad Tao's origin. If they were to find it, we would be in even more trouble. All right, if there was only 1 heaven-old super beast king, they might not be so nervous, but there were 2 of them. What do we do now? Go back and ask them to send another group of people to search. The 2 heaven-old divine race people immediately ran back. Gorilla, is the myriad Tao's source underground? If you can find the source of myriad Tao, would you be able to meet that previous heaven-old super beast king? Xianxia asked. I'm not sure if it's underground. If I find him, I might not run into my comrades because there are 108 myriad Taoists. The gorilla said, if we find it, we will eat that myriad Tao source. There are actually so many. Xianxia did not expect this. The source of the myriad Tao must be connected to this tribe. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many myriad Tao divine soil in that heaven-old super realm. Yes, if we want to recover to our original state, we can only recover by eating the myriad Tao's origin. The gorilla said, when I recover, can you open that passage? When the time comes, I will follow you to the heaven-old super realm. I can find a large number of myriad Tao divine soil there for you. Of course not. Xianxia would definitely cooperate with the gorilla for the sake of the myriad Tao divine soil. After running for a few days, the gorilla suddenly became very excited and shouted, it's nearby! At this moment, the gorilla was rushing towards a huge mountain. He came to the foot of the mountain and punched at it. After the mountain was shattered, a green light burst out from within the mountain, and a green ball the size of 2 people flew out in one direction. The gorilla immediately flew over and hugged the green ball of light, and fiercely bit at the myriad Tao source with his mouth wide open. After a few bites, it shattered, and a ball of green light flew out, being swallowed by the gorilla. This guy's methods are really simple and crude. Xianxia had witnessed the entire process from high up in the sky, which could be considered an eye-opener. He thought that the myriad Tao's origin would be extremely huge, but he never expected it to be this small. Shao Kuer, can you feel any kind of special power from the myriad Tao's origin? Xianxia asked. I can't feel it at all. Perhaps this kind of thing only has a special effect on races like theirs. Feng Kuer said. At this moment, the gorilla's massive body had already been enveloped by the green light and was slowly falling to the ground like a silkworm chrysalis. When can I do that? Xianxia ran over and shouted. But there was no sound from inside. The gorilla seemed to be asleep. If the people of the heaven-old divine race find this place, then we will be in trouble. Xianxia was a little anxious. He took out the 6 realms mirrors and tried it out, but he could not put it into the space. However, he succeeded in bringing the huge green pupa onto the 6 realms mirrors. At this moment, he was flying high in the sky while carrying it. Xianxia flew at a very high altitude and used the counterpower to hide himself. I wonder when this guy will wake up. Xianxia patted the green cocoon. He had originally planned to return to the Dan God mysterious land, but he was worried that he would lure the heaven-old divine race's people to that place. He had already found the approximate strength of the heaven-old divine race from Songkong and was still very strong. If the existence of the Dan God mysterious land were to be discovered by them, and then they could think of a way to break through them, that would not be good. In order to prevent this kind of thing from happening, Xianxia did not plan to go to the Dan God mysterious land. Deep into the night, Xianxia made the flying discs float in the sky and stopped above. He was not flying right now and he needed to rest. Weird. Why would there be movement at night? Xianxia carefully looked at the green giant worms breathing, and then looked around, but didn't find anything wrong. Just as he was puzzled, he realized that a light green mist was seeping out of the green giant worm's surface. What was inconceivable to him was that after the green mist appeared, he could feel a trace of world-defying stage fierce power. Could these be the world-defying stage fierce power? Xianxia anxiously absorbed a little of it, which made him even more surprised, because after absorbing the green mist, he realized that the world-defying stage fierce power was extremely dense. These world-defying stage fierce power are drifting out. That means they came from within. If I do not absorb them, it will be a waste. Xianxia immediately channeled his devouring magic kung fu, and quickly absorbed the green mist on the surface of the green giant worm. This green mist contained a large amount of world-defying stage fierce power. It's much faster than when I absorbed it through my meridians. When opened his eyes, he could no longer feel the world-defying stage fierce power entering his body. When he opened his eyes, he saw that the green giant worm had stopped moving and was no longer releasing that green mist. It stopped. Does it only appear at night? Xianxia secretly guessed. It was daytime, but no green mist leaked out, causing Xianxia to be disappointed. But absorbing the mist overnight also increased his cultivation by a lot. The myriad Tao's origin is green, and the mist that leaked out is also green. If there is a connection, if you were to obtain the source of a myriad Tao, wouldn't that be able to increase your world-defying stage fierce power by leaps and bounds? Feng Kuer said. That's not bad. But how do I find the source of myriad Tao? Xianxia didn't have the heaven-old Super Beast King's ability to sense the source of the myriad Tao. He didn't know where he had to go to find the source of the myriad Tao. Feng Kuer said, you just need to ask him and he will know. When he wakes up, he will definitely know how to find him, and you helped him out to find the source of the myriad Tao. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to become strong so quickly. Xianxia nodded. He had already decided to ask this heaven-old Super Beast King to help him search for the myriad Tao's origin after he woke up. It was day, and Xianxia continued to let the 6 realms mirrors hover high up in the sky. It was because they did not meet anyone at night, so he felt that they could rest assured here. At this moment, Xianxia was really looking forward to the descent of night. This way, he would be sure that the green giant worm could only release that green mist at night. Evening had arrived. Xianxia looked at the sky and patiently waited. Soon, it would be night. He thought that he could wait until night in peace, but he never thought that he would suddenly feel an aura coming from far away. This aura was even sensed by the heaven-devouring rat that he had released to search for him from all directions, even though it was only an extremely weak aura. But he was able to discern from this aura that this was the aura of a person from the heaven-old divine race, and it was extremely strong at that. There are only 2 auras. They should be 2 heaven-old divine race cultivators coming here. They are obviously here for us. Xianxia could tell from looking at the green giant worm. He was worried that the other party would stop in the space tunnel. If he stopped in the middle of the tunnel, it would usually shoot out a strong spatial energy wave, and if he did not deal with it well, he would be torn into pieces along with the space tunnel. If Xianxia had no other choice but to bring this kind of green giant worm with him, he did not want to take any risks. At that time, it would be bad if he harmed the gorilla inside the green giant worm. How the hell did these guys get here? I was very cautious, but I was still traced. Xianxia urged his 6 realms mirrors to fly quickly, wanting to get the help of the 2 heaven-old divine race people behind him. Furthermore, they seemed to be able to control Xianxia's movements at any time. Even if Xianxia was able to shake them off, it was only for a short period of time, and they would always be able to catch up to him very quickly. It was simply impossible to shake him off. We have to get rid of them. Feng Kuer said. Is there a way? Not yet. Xianxia said. If it really isn't possible, then I can only release that guy from the 6 realms mirrors. That guy should be almost crazy by now. When the time comes, he'll definitely listen to me. Xianxia brought his green giant worm with him, so it was inconvenient for him to rush up to fight. He couldn't place his green giant worm inside the Yu Yao mountain villa or other storage magic treasure, and it would be too dangerous if he placed them outside by himself. Who's in front? One of the heaven-old divine race people saw that there was a green giant worm above Xianxia's 6 realms mirrors, and was extremely shocked. At the same time, he was glad because they still had time, because if the heaven-old Super Beast King inside came out, they would be in big trouble. I am your ancestor. You unfilial descendants. Why aren't you kneeling down and chasing after your ancestor? Xianxia immediately responded, Stand still. Don't chase after me anymore. Of course, Xianxia's words were just spouting nonsense. Even if the other party did not know him, he did not want them to know that he was involved in this matter. You're courting death. The people of Heaven Old Divine Race also had their own ancestors, and now that someone was pretending to be their ancestors, it was equivalent to insulting their own ancestors, causing them to be extremely angry. However, they were still very vigilant because people who could carry green giant worms and fly everywhere were definitely not weak. They guessed that this person might be the person who opened the spatial tunnel array disk,